Good evening, everybody. Mike Deuce here. Today we're going to go over the Nightcrawler origin story that came about in the Uncanny X-Men series back in 2003. You learn more about his parents, who we already knew Mystique was probably his mother from the early 90s and 80s comic books. But here we learn that a card that I just pulled in the last video, Azazel, is his father. So we'll go over the 6-part Draco storyline that goes over that story. And I sent this card in. As you can see, I've got some cards to go over here, my favorite Nightcrawler cards. This card, I just pulled an autograph to 150 of Azazel from a Deadpool Wolverine box from 2025. I sent this into Beckett through Mad Brothers Games and Hobbies there at the local game store. So I'm getting that graded. And this is one I already got graded from Beckett through them. This is a Mint 9 Nightcrawler card from Upper Decks series of cards from 2024 Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinum. That was a re-release of the Joe Jusko artwork set from 1992. And I got a Mint 9 on this. As you can see, with these subgrades, I got a 9 on the centering, a 9.5 on the edges. It looks like a 9 on the surface and a 9.5 on the corners. Man, one more 9.5 and it would have been a 9.5. That would have been awesome. But still a very good Mint 9 score. Let's go over some of these older cards I had in my collection. These two I got from a friend. This Nightcrawler one here. Recently got that from him for my birthday. And a Mystique, he gave me a whole bunch of cool 90s Marvel cards. These two, however, I had in my collection since 1995. I collected the Marvel annual set from Flair back in the day. 1995, here's the Nightcrawler card. These are very cool, very good quality cards, thick card stock. And here's Mystique from those cards. Next, we'll go over the new Topps 2025 X-Men Topps Finest X-Men 97 cards from the cartoon. Here I have a Greatest Hits card that has Wolverine and Nightcrawler fighting the Sentinels, and a previously on X-Men Nightcrawler card. We'll go into some of his backstory. As you can see, he's wearing a priest garb here. So he, in the cartoon, in the comics, he became a priest. So we'll go over his backstory, and you'll find out that even if you have, parents who aren't too good morality-wise, and you come from a past that, has some bumps in the road, you still can make your own choices. And here's a rare refractor from the X-Men 97 set. This is a very cool rare card. You can see there's common, uncommon, and rare down at the bottom right. It says rare there, if you can see that. So let me get to the comic books now. Oh, yes. And my oldest card is from the new cards I got from my friend Joe. Here's an old 1990 Nightcrawler. That might be 1990. No, that's not 1992. That's 1990. The Impel set, Marvel Universe. Let me set these cards back here. That way we have them as a backdrop. And we'll get to the comic books. Okay. Here's Draco Prologue, featuring Nightcrawler cover artwork here. Got these still on the backer boards from back in the day. I briefly went through these comics preparing for this live stream, so I would have a refresh on the story. So here we go. There's the Draco artwork. And here we have Mystique, the villain from the X-Men comics. She's both Nightcrawler and Rogue's mother. Here you have, she's older like Wolverine. Due to her shape-shifting abilities, she lives longer than most humans. So there she is in medieval times, kind of, or late medieval. Here's her and another guy. And You can see that she's working with this other villain, Azazel. Here he is, Azazel, Nightcrawler's father, to take control of this Baron or something. I didn't quite get the whole storyline when I was reading over it again. So they fall in love here, or she does anyway. But then Azazel has other plans. So Mystique, not knowing what to do, has the baby, the Nightcrawler. And you can see the nurse and the doctor are quite surprised. She turns blue, her blue form, her normal mutant form. And she abandons Nightcrawler by actually throwing him off a cliff, which is quite a sordid thing to do. And but he teleports and saves himself. His infant reflexes kick in, and he escapes. So let's get the comic book number. I think we go to number 3 here because it's kind of boring in the second one. We'll go to comic book number 3. That'll reintroduce Azazel. But that's his birth and his storyline. Not his storyline, but his origin. That's the first time you ever hear, like, Nightcrawler's father or any actual origin there. So here, you see the mutants fighting. Nightcrawler there. You'll get to meet Nightcrawler's half-brother here, too. Here's where they meet. See, they ran into Azazel and his band of evil mutants here. They have the X-Men have Angel on their side, the good mutant, and you can see he's got two winged villains on his side. You have Havoc there and Angel from the X-Men. This girl's going after Angel. She's more of a demon, like Azazel. And here we go. We got this fight going on. The artwork is okay. I prefer Jim Lee's artwork from the 90s and some of even the newer artwork from the comics. But it's still very cool. I love the cover artwork on all these. Here's who's that? Quicksilver maybe? Juggernaut. Just kind of flipping through here, going over there's Mystique, and this is Niles, I think it was. Can't remember his name, but that's Nightcrawler's half-brother. So as you can see, the whole goal of Azazel here, you can't quite see it, but we'll see later. He's trying to use Nightcrawler to return back to his own dimension. He needs the help of another. Who's shooting in here? Yeah, you didn't know Nightcrawler was Mystique's son? Yeah, definitely. Yep, just like Rogue. Rogue is Mystique's daughter. A lot of people know that, but a lot of people don't know Nightcrawler's origin. That's why he's blue. I mean, that's not really how they did it in the movies, I don't think, but they didn't really go into that in the movies. Here's the Draco Part 4. I can go into these comics a little more. Azazel's trying to get them to stop. Of course, he's trying to trick them and get access to Nightcrawler to return to his own dimension. But he uses one of his enemies to shock everybody temporarily and calm everything down. Kind of a detailed story here. I don't want to take too long with it. I'm not going to read everything to you, but the pictures tell the story too. That's comic books for you. Here's the Juggernaut. He's going to go help him at the end. He needs his power. So there's Azazel trying to talk with all the X-Men. He reveals that Mystique is in fact Nightcrawler's mother. For certain then, so this is the confirmation in the Marvel comic books that Mystique is Nightcrawler's mother and Azazel is his father. This is a brand new character in the comic books. This was from 2003. And as you can tell, based on the red demon guy and the blue demon girl with wings, he's also their parent as well, the father as well. That's what he says there. It's kind of a more darker X-Men storyline, but still cool. So I thought I'd go over it since we hit the Azazel card. And I like the Nightcrawler character because he chose the path of good. Here we go. Another battle ensues. Hey, Mike, have you ever heard any of this storyline before? It's never been covered in the cartoons or the movies at all. Didn't know if you had it in any comic books you read back then, or this was more after our high school years, I'm sure. Part 5, the Draco. This is still cool artwork. Jim Lee, though, was definitely the classic one back in the 90s. Here, more battles going on, this time between Nightcrawler and Azazel. I think the Juggernaut comes to save them all at the end. Not save them, but add more power to the X-Men's fight. They're trying to subdue Wolverine there. Here we go. Kane Marco, the Juggernaut, shows up to the fray. That girl gets hurt. And then the battle pauses for a little bit. Here we go. So this is the other dimension where Azazel is from being opened up so he can return. And he's about to try to use Nightcrawler and his half-brother to return. They both teleport. Azazel cannot do it himself, he's saying there. And Nightcrawler, he's trying to tell Nightcrawler they have to both go back for him to travel. But he's saying, nope, I want to stay here. And then we're going to the final book for the Draco storyline, and we'll get to one with Rogue that features Mystique and Rogue in it, and a final one with Nightcrawler, just because I love that cover artwork there with just his tail. Here's Wolverine there for the cover. The Draco storyline, part 6. More fighting here. I thought this one, when I pulled the Azazel card, I thought this was just a 2-part comic book. I hadn't remembered it was a much longer arc in the comics. A prologue and 5 other comics. Here, the battle is almost over, I believe. Some weird villain there. Iceman into the battle here. Now Nightcrawler and his half-brother are sneaking around, trying to escape possibly, or get the X-Men out of here. Now they're teleporting out. Iceman's helping there. Polaris. They returned with Juggernaut. Oh, here we go. This is cool. So this is a very cool sword fight between Nightcrawler and Azazel. Let me go back to that if it's still going on earlier. Here we go. Nightcrawler returns. As you know, he's got like 2 or 3 swords he sometimes fights with. That is in the Topps Finest X-Men 97 card. When they fight the Sentinels, he's battling with multiple swords. He uses his tail as the 3rd sword. Or to hold the 3rd sword. Excuse me, I had to cough. He was the leader of Excalibur, if you don't know that part of his story. And also, he became a priest in the comics, and that is covered in X-Men 97 as well. He oversaw Gambit's funeral when Gambit saved all the mutants from the giant sentinel that attacked. So, as you can see, they escaped, defeated Azazel, and Azazel, let's see, I got sidetracked there. Azazel and Nightcrawler here. Azazel gets pulled into the portal there. But Nightcrawler's half-brother is okay. Nightcrawler's okay. All the X-Men survive. Now going on to Rogue with Mystique, some of the backstory. Very cool comic in the Uncanny series. These are all Uncanny X-Men comics. This does not cover the regular X-Men storyline. This covers more the, I don't know, the original X-Men, because the regular X-Men have been around since the 60s. So these cover most of the new X-Men in these comics. So here's Rogue. You can see later she runs into Mystique. Oh, here she is. Mystique wants her to go with her. And they have a little bit of a battle here. It's one of the guys working on the Sentinels. Rogue's trying to break out. Mystique raised Rogue and had her attack Captain Marvel, originally, the first Captain Marvel, and stole her powers. So there's just a little comic book with Mystique and Rogue. And the final comic book we're going to go over today is another Nightcrawler one. Here you have the cool artwork with the tail and the BAMF. This is Brimstone. You always smell Brimstone when he teleports. That's because the other dimension, we learned that Azazel was from his father. And it makes a pink cloud, purple cloud. And you can see that on this one, the old 1994 artwork from this old X-Men series. And you might have seen Azazel in the movies. He was in the movies, actually. I forgot, but he wasn't like hinted as Nightcrawler's father in the movies much. He was in X-Men First Class. I'm not sure if he was in the Deadpool Wolverine as one of the villains. I can't quite remember that. But I got this card in the Deadpool movie box. So, like, Azazel was in X-Men First Class, but, like, they didn't really go over him being Nightcrawler's father that I remember. He just worked with the evil Brotherhood of Mutants that Sebastian Stan and Emma Frost were in. Kevin Bacon and the White Queen. Here's a fun comic book. So the X-Men are starting off with a baseball game. It's kind of a prelude to another storyline. But this is a fun one, showcasing Nightcrawler's powers and the X-Men playing baseball at the school. Wolverine here. Nightcrawler is a catcher. That is the Phoenix. That's Rachel Summers, I believe. The younger Phoenix. They're in the danger room practicing. Wolverine always honing his skills, his fighting skills. Rogue, Storm. Now they go out to battle. Let's go back to the baseball game. There was something I wanted to cover there. There was the hit. And you can see they have a laugh here. Nightcrawler and the other guy go out to break up a fight or something. Just having fun at the mansion. Okay, and then we have a battle here with some new villains. I did not read the next few comics again. I read them when I got them, but I didn't go over that storyline to know what this went into. I just thought it was an interesting cover artwork and wanted to go over it. So, if you guys have any other Nightcrawler questions, let me know. I would advise you to go back to my previous video and watch the hit I got on that Azazel card. This was only numbered to 150. I hit a Terry Crews one that I'm going to reveal in a video next Saturday coming up. It's out of 99 as well. Terry Crews autographs. So two double box openings of value boxes, and I hit 2 autographs in a row for both sets of boxes. Very cool. Those are $40 boxes, and hitting 2 numbered autographs is really good. So I highly suggest getting some Deadpool boxes to open up. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. You can check out my Collect store and my Facebook if you see links on previous videos. So thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.